What is happening, everybody? My name is Rob of Ro2R Review. Welcome back and Happy New Year. That's right, it's January 1st, 2019. Holy crap. How is it 2019 already? I can't even think straight. Time goes way too fast anymore. I swear to God, it was just New Year's 2018, and now here we are, January 1st, 2019. Although I'm going to keep it real with you guys, I actually love New Year's. I love this time of year. There's something about the fresh beginning of a new year that's always kind of cool to me. I know maybe some people don't get as into it, and sometimes people get really depressed about all these different things, but honestly, I love it. I think it's great. You get to start over with so many things in your life, and for us, in kind of the gaming community, it's fun to start looking ahead at the year of gaming and what might be on its way. And so, of course, that's what we're going to do today. A week ago, I made my video of my top 10 favorite games of last year, 2018. It's crazy to call it last year already. And so now I want to look ahead to this year and discuss what are my personal 10 most anticipated games in the industry. Now, before I get started with number 10, a couple of disclaimers. I wanted to actually go over a couple of games that I'm not really qualifying for this list, games that maybe we might suspect to be 2019 but are not yet confirmed with any date. And there's even a couple of games that are technically right now listed as 2019 games, but I personally just don't believe that they're going to release. I think it's way too early, and so I wanted to make sure everyone knew why these games didn't actually make my top 10. And those are Bayonetta 3, The Last of Us Part 2, Death Stranding, Ghost of Tsushima, Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, and of course, Metroid Prime 4. You guys obviously knew I had to bring up Metroid, and while there is a good shot the game does get, confirmed for 2019 this year and also released in 2019, I also just don't feel comfortable enough putting it on this list just because we don't know, man. The longer and longer we've gone without seeing the game, the more it's starting to look like maybe that game is 2020. Same for something like Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. I mean, that game was just discussed awkwardly in the audience of the EA press conference last year at E3, and we've seen nothing about the game. They just said, yeah, we're making it and it's releasing in 2019. It's like, dude, I do not believe that. That game is going to be 2020 for sure. Also, Last of Us Part 2, I think that's going to be launching the PlayStation 5. I do not believe that that is a PS4 release in 2019. So these are the reasons why these games, without confirmations, I don't feel comfortable putting it on this list. And so, with that being said, let's start off with number 10 for 2019. And for myself, that game is Yoshi's Crafted World for the Nintendo Switch. What can I say? I'm a Nintendo fan, I'm a platformer fan, I'm a Yoshi fan, and this is just all those best things put together. I thought Yoshi's Woolly World was really, really excellent on the Wii U. That game started off so easy and got really hard by the end. It was very impressive. Loved the visual style, loved everything they did with kind of the yarn thing, and they're taking that to the next level with the cardboard crafted box thing in Yoshi's Crafted World. I'm expecting the game to release pretty early in 2019. Nintendo platforming goodness is always going to appeal to me. I have a soft spot for that stuff. They're pretty much the best at it when it comes to platforming stuff. So for me, that's number 10, Yoshi's Crafted World. Coming in at number 9 is Fire Emblem Three Houses, also for the Nintendo Switch, because man, it's new Fire Emblem. I mean, what else needs to be said about it? I'm not going to claim to be like the world's biggest Fire Emblem fan. I don't really go that far back with the series. I messed with both Radiant Dawn and Path of Radiance on the GameCube and the Wii, and then I played Awakening and Fates. I've played Fates Birthright, that was the only one I played, and I really do enjoy those games. I'm not really usually big on the strategy kind of games, but there's something about that Fire Emblem charm that's really exciting, and they're always great with the story and the character development and the relationships, and the fact that Three Houses, with the little we've seen so far, seems to be introducing some new elements, like being able to fight with an actual army at your side, sending them after opponents that way, giving us some sort of 3D free-range kind of roaming in the castle-like hub world, possibly, or whatever else they're doing with it. I don't even know. But I do really enjoy Fire Emblem. I cannot wait for a console Switch version of Fire Emblem. I think it's going to be amazing, so for me it comes in at number 9. Coming in at number 8 is Travis Strikes Again, No More Heroes, which is unique because honestly, you guys, I am such a No More Heroes fan. This would have been in the top 3 if it was No More Heroes Part 3, but it's not. It's this weird sort of indie-inspired spin-off, Travis Strikes Again. Suda51 has been pretty vocal that the success of this game would really help kind of determine how likely a No More Heroes 3 would be, but the fact that he's even interested and wanting to make a No More Heroes 3 is music to my ears. I love the No More Heroes franchise. Those first two games are some of my favorite of the last decade, and I also just love Travis Touchdown, man. I can't wait to see what this future brings for No More Heroes. The fact that Suda is even interested in still making these games, here we get this weird spin-off that I think looks fun enough. I think it's going to be a nice, simple Travis Touchdown inspired distraction while we hopefully cross our fingers for No More Heroes 3 in the future. Personally, I'm excited for this, so it comes in for me at number 8. At number 7, we have Code Vein from Bandai Namco, which is going to be incredible, you guys. I've discussed it before. Very Dark Souls inspired kind of combat, and I know that's, you know, some people nowadays hate the idea of everyone labeling something as a Dark Souls-like, but this is one of those cases where it's 100% accurate, and it's not a reach to say that. At least, based on everything they've shown us, it looks like a Dark Souls experience, except using an anime character art style, and in this weird sort of vampire steampunk-infused kind of setting. And, you know, it just appeals to the kind of things that I really love because I am a humongous Dark Souls and Bloodborne fan, and I like the change in setting and some of the changes in combat we've seen with what they've shown. This game still is a mystery as far as date, but I do believe it's going to be 2019. Rumors about it coming to the Switch, but not yet confirmed. Either way, I don't care what platform it comes out on, I can't wait for this, so for me, it's number 7. And at number 6 is Doom Eternal. Man, this is going to be amazing. And to be fair, there are some worries out there that this game will also get delayed to 2020. I, however, feel pretty good that this game is going to stick to 2019, so I cannot wait. That 2016 version of Doom, which I personally played on the Xbox One, blew me away. It deserved all the accolades and success and critical acclaim that it got. Obviously, it was then ported to the Switch in 2017, which turned out to be fantastic. And the fact that this game was confirmed right now, day and date, for the Xbox One, PlayStation 4, PC, and Nintendo Switch is great news. I'm probably going to pick this up on the Switch, but I might also double dip and kind of play it in some higher resolution on the other consoles. I'm not quite sure yet, but I don't really care. I'm just so excited for this game, introducing new combat and the grappling hook and all these great things they showed us at the reveal. It's going to be amazing, and so it comes in at number 6. Coming in at number 5 is a game that might be a surprise to some people, and that is Luigi's Mansion 3 on the Nintendo Switch, because I can't believe we live in a world where Luigi's Mansion 3 is actually coming, you guys. I loved that first game. I have such a fond memory of playing that game right when I bought my GameCube. You know, I was living in like my second apartment ever, like when I moved out of my folks' house. I was 21 when this game launched, and it was so beautiful. It was so fun. I loved the atmosphere. I loved the idea of this Luigi spin-off side game where he's hunting in like a haunted house mansion. It was so unique. The sequel on the 3DS was also excellent. I still prefer that first game, I'm not gonna lie, but I still thought Dark Moon was great. I'm really excited to see what they're doing with this game. I'm expecting it to have multiple mansions like Dark Moon did, but I'm actually crossing my fingers for just one big single mansion. I know a lot of people might find that crazy. You know, on paper it sounds like the more mansions, the better the game, but I actually think it's the opposite. I would rather have one well-crafted, gigantic mansion with a huge story and all sorts of things to do and discover, and I can't wait to see what changes and tricks they add to it, new control schemes, better graphics. It's going to be amazing. So for me, I can't wait for Luigi's Mansion 3. Comes in at number 5. And at number 4, we have Ori and the Will of the Wisps. This game, man, I've been waiting for more information on this game forever. And in fact, for the longest time, I thought it was going to come out last year in 2018. Because the game was revealed so long ago, and then it just went dark. It totally disappeared. But Ori and the Blind Forest is one of my favorite games of this current generation. Probably the best Metroidvania-like experience I've played that isn't a Metroid or a Castlevania game. And so just the fact that we're getting a sequel in this beautiful art style, amazing combat and controls, great world and map to explore and to backtrack through. I mean, I can't say enough good things about the first game, and the fact that we're getting the sequel, it just makes me really excited. So this game, we're still waiting on a date, and we're still waiting on more previews and confirmations on what they're including in this game, but I have no doubt it's going to blow us away and deliver on what we want coming off of that first game. So for me, Ori and the Will of the Wisps comes in at number 4. And coming into the top 3, and at number 3 is Gears of War 5. Now this is another one where the jury is out on the release date, but I'm actually going to give it the benefit of the doubt and hope that it actually sticks to 2019. And, you know, I'm a huge Gears of War fan. It's that simple, man. I know the games aren't that flashy. They're not doing anything special. They're just really over-the-top, crazy, third-person, bloody shooter action. And so some people might just find them dumb for that reason, and that's fine. I, however, love them. Ever since the first game, I've loved the franchise. Gears of War 4 is probably the best one they've made. I cannot say enough good things about that game's campaign, and more than that, the multiplayer. It really shined in Gears of War 4. I still turn it on to this day, and they have done such a great job updating that game constantly with free new content for online stuff and always changing it and evolving it, and it's better every time I turn that game on. Some of the best shooter combat around, and I think Gears of War 5 could be the best yet. The campaign and story is probably going to go in some really crazy, weird places coming off of the cliffhanger ending of Part 4. But either way, assuming this game sticks to 2019, for me, Gears of War 5 comes in at number 3. And at number 2 is Sekiro: Shadows Die Twice from Software. Yes, this is another game that we can say is, quote, Dark Souls-like, but it definitely applies here because it's from the same team that created Dark Souls, From Software. And they essentially are, they're very proud to showcase how this game is taking everything that they did with the Dark Souls and Bloodborne games, and they've moved it into this new setting that's like this weird demon samurai sort of combat thing, and now you have like a grappling hook shot kind of thing. So there's a lot more verticality and acrobatics and like nimbleness to your character and what you can do, and I can tell that that is going to change up how the combat feels dramatically. And I love that it's also a much brighter, more colorful world than the Dark Souls and Bloodborne stuff. Even though I loved those settings, I think this is going to be the perfect change to what they've been doing. Take the great foundation of the Dark Souls combat and move it into something completely new. The game looks beautiful. I cannot wait to play something else in this kind of world and with the feel of what From Software does with their games. I think it's going to be one of the best games of the year, and so for me, it comes in at number 2. And so that brings us to number 1, my number 1 most anticipated game for 2019 right now, again, based off of everything we know and the games that I feel comfortable saying will release in 2019. And it's not going to be a surprise. It's going to make many people's lists and probably many people's number 1s. And of course, that is Resident Evil 2, the remake. This is going to be amazing, you guys. I mean, what more needs to be said about this game? Everyone's talked about it. Tons of previews out there. So many people are excited. Like I said, many people calling it their most anticipated game for the year. And beyond that, let's talk about this game. This game comes out literally in 3 weeks. This game comes out right at the beginning of the year, near the end of January. So it's really not going to be too long before this game releases. And I mean, you know, I love Resident Evil since the original game as well, just like many other franchises on this list. One of my favorite non-Nintendo franchises, maybe even my favorite non-Nintendo franchise. Love horror stuff. I think that the original Resident Evil remake, which released on 2002 in the GameCube, is one of the greatest games of all time. And so seeing them take the Resident Evil 2 game and remake it, but remake it in the Resident Evil 4 formula is mind-blowing. And, you know, I've talked about this in the past. It basically makes this game seem and feel like a brand new game. Less than a remake of the second game. It's almost going to be a brand new game that happens to have Leon and Claire and Ada Wong and all of these great things, reintroducing us to the liquor and the lore of everything going on with, you know, the whole Raccoon City and Umbrella thing. I don't want to say too much because I don't want to spoil it if you've never played it, but it's a phenomenal game. The second game already was one of the best in the franchise, and now they're remaking it using the template from the best game in the franchise, Resident Evil 4. So I don't know what to say, man. We all know it's going to be amazing. Everyone's pumped. I'm pumped. My most anticipated game for 2019 right now is Resident Evil 2. And so there you go, man. Here we are, the 1st of January, already excited about everything that we're going to be playing in 2019 across all consoles. And make no mistake, this was a hard list to make because there were so many games that made it close to making this list, not even including the games that I decided not to include on it. I mean, it's crazy. A couple of honorable mentions, Devil May Cry 5, Daemon X Machina, Anthem, Metro Exodus, Toe Jam and Earl, Days Gone, Rage 2. I mean, yeah, the list just goes on and on. Not to mention stuff that we're going to find out about at E3, and also, if we actually get some of those other games, Jedi Fallen Order, Metroid Prime 4, Bayonetta 3, I mean, maybe Death Stranding does release this year. Who knows, man? I mean, these are all games that I can't wait to play, and I know they're going to be fantastic in 2019. So that's my list. Those are the 10 games that I can't wait to play. So I, of course, want to hear what you guys have to say about my list of 10 games, and then also please discuss the games that you're most excited for this year as well, because there is a lot to pick from. With that being said, I will say once again, guys, Happy New Year. Hopefully everyone had a good, safe, fun time. I hope that the year brings many excellent things to you. And with that being said, this video is a wrap. So thanks, of course, as always, for tuning in, guys. This is Rob of Rule of 2 Review, and I'll catch you next time on another video.